Hey, how's it going? My name is Mark Harris, and why is that important to you? Because I'm a nobody. And that's important to you because I'm probably the only person on YouTube now, as of today, who has reviewed the XO 1650 who's not endorsed by XO and is not an authorized dealer for XO. What does that mean for you? That means you're going to get a review from a guy who has no financial interest in trying to sell you a horn. I'm just going to tell you about the horn. So obviously, you've probably seen all the other four reviews out there where they show you the gold caps. That's nice. They showed you the phosphor bronze bottom caps. That's nice. Great. Glad they put that in there. Don't care. Personally, I do not care. I would rather play an old beat up horn that sounds amazing and plays amazing rather than have something that looks great and sounds like garbage. Thankfully, that's not the case with this horn. It looks great and it sounds great. So you don't get that very often. And give you a little background on myself real quick. I was in the Fleet Marine Corps bands for about 8 years, not to be confused with the President's own Marine band, United States Marine band. So there are actually Marine bandsmen out there who tote rifles and deploy to Iraq. I was one of them. Here I am. I got paid to do that. I got paid to wield a rifle and a French horn. So best of both worlds. Semper Fi. Anyways, back to the horn. It looks great, awesome, don't care because at the end of the day, you can't play the shine. I grew up on Con 8Ds, I love Con 8Ds, and in my mind, it's always been the standard, period. So if you're going to build a horn and price a horn in that price range, it better be just as good a quality. Now, I know that comparing a Geyer and a Cruisby are two different apples and oranges and all that stuff, but you can compare a good orange to a good apple, you know what I mean? Or a good orange to a bad apple. And in this case, I think that XO more than met that expectation. They set up their price at a point that's around the same point, a little less than what I'm used to from an 8D, and they surpassed the pricing mark. Punches way above its price point. That's the best way I can put it. If it were me and I were this company, I would be asking personally at least $6,500, and I think that's actually their MSRP, the suggested retail price, and they wouldn't be wrong to ask that because it's a really fine horn. Now, what experience do I have to compare this to since I'm an 8D guy? Well, in the last 2 years, I've probably played well over a dozen horns that ranged from $1,500 to $12,000. Assembly line horns, American-made horns, German handmade horns, custom horns, you name it, I've played it. And I've played them at length for great periods of time, not just a few days or a couple weeks, but at least a month at a time. And I've had this one for at least a month, and so far I am extremely pleased with it. The first thing I noticed about this horn is it's extremely easy to play in the upper register. Actually, that's the second thing I noticed, but it is extremely easy to play in the upper register. The best way I can describe it is it's like playing a triple horn. The security thereof in the upper register is like that of a triple horn. And I don't say that to blow smoke. It really does play that well up there. The security is awesome. But it also speaks very broadly in the low register. It speaks very well in the low register. The tonality and the playability, I would have to say, are very similar to a $12,000 German handmade horn, a boutique horn, that was loaned to me for about 9 months. Unfortunately, it was out of my reach. However, I actually like the tone of this one better. I can't say the brand of that particular horn, just know you've heard of it. And, for the money, this definitely punches way above its pay grade. So, anywho, other than that, the playability is phenomenal. The valves are flawless, in my opinion. It's great that you can adjust the pinky hook. And I know there's a lot of overseas companies that are trying to sell you on, oh, we got a pinky hook, therefore our horn's worth $4,000 plus. No, it's not. This, I could care less about the pinky hook. You could take the pinky hook off and it's still worth $4,000 or more to me. So, anywho, it's a great horn. So, I'm going to play real quick, just up and down 2-octave, 3-octave register, just so you can see how fluid and seamless the transition from F to B flat is. That was the first thing I noticed about this horn, is not only is it extremely easy to play, but the transitions, as we know, all horns have this issue where no matter how much you pay for the horn, between the F and the B flat transition at that break, it kind of sounds different, and that's not the case with this horn. This horn it stays really solid. So I'm gonna turn the gain down on the mic real quick so I don't blast your ears out, and I'm gonna play like a scale or two. hear how easy that upper register just sails. It's just I've never played a horn in this price range that just sings like that in upper register, which is great. I'm usually on first horn, so that makes my life a million times easier. Thank you, XO. Now, you probably noticed that my tone is quite bright. That is something I've been trying to achieve. So this is a Houghton H4. It's a rather small, shallow cup and mouthpiece. By the way, these are really awesome mouthpieces. If you get a chance to try a Houghton underpart with a Houghton Cerakote, highly recommend. You got to try the steel mouthpieces. The response and the feel is really, really nice. Now, that being said, I'm going to play a little bit on my Blessing mouthpiece, which is quite a big boy compared to what I'm used to. And you'll see that it does have a different tone quality to it. It's a lot darker. It's pretty rich. So you can get different colors out of this horn. That's the other beautiful thing about it. You're not stuck with just a bright horn or just a dark horn. You can get everything in between. So I'm going to turn the gain back down, and I'm going to play a couple of quick little licks on here for you. So, as you can see, different tonal quality was much darker, a little richer, bigger projection, but that's going to happen with a bigger mouthpiece compared to a smaller mouthpiece every time. So, obviously my little mouthpiece doesn't project as well, but since I'm always playing on the first horn parts, I don't always want it to cut through too much. I just want to kind of sit on top of the cloud, so to speak. The Blessing, if you're looking for, or any big mouthpiece really, if you're looking for a big, dark, rich sound in the low end because you're a second or fourth or fifth or seventh, eighth, ninth horn player, then get you a bigger mouthpiece and you can get that big, rich, dark, deep sound out of it too. So it's really a matter of what you're looking for, which is cool because I've played horns where you can only get bright or you can only get dark, and all the colors in between were just kind of like meh. And no matter how many mouthpieces I tried, it still sounded generically the same. And those are two extreme opposite mouthpieces. You could hear a difference. So, I don't know if you could, but I could, which I like. So, anyways, great playing horn, excellent superior playability, similar to that of a German handmade custom horn. The upper register is like that of a triple horn as far as security goes. The intonation's quite nice. The tone is the tone that I'm looking for. Now, am I going to sit here and try to tell you this is the horn for everybody? Everybody's got it? No. This is the horn for me. It's the horn for other people. It may not be the horn for you, but this is definitely the horn for me. And after 2 years of searching and trying out multiple Geyers, this is the one that I settled on because for the money, I personally believe there is nothing else better on the market that even comes close to holding a candle to this thing. If it were me, just based on my knowledge of the horn, my experience on it, knowledge of other horns, it is not, at the end of the day, not a German handmade horn, so I don't think it could rightfully pull an $8,000, $10,000 price tag. But being made overseas, and I believe that this is very worthy of $6,500 easily. So the fact that they're giving it to you for less than you would pay for some of the other brand names, and we know who we're talking about in the American categories, they're really going well above what any other company has so far. They did a lot of research. Most companies that have tried to make horns, that when horns were out of their wheelhouse, there have been a lot of, I'll say it like this, there have been other companies out there who have never made horns but made other awesome brass instruments, and when they tried to suddenly delve into the horn world, awful. They just go with what you know is what they should have done. It just is what it is. Not to say they're bad companies, because they do make other great instruments. XO, on the other hand, they did their research, and they did their research, and they did their research, and they did their research. Did I mention that they did their research? Because this is a company that took their time, and you can tell. You can tell that they really took their time to make sure it was exactly what a horn player would want. And so, if you're looking for a Geyer, but you want something with that kind of handmade custom feel, but you don't have $8,000 or more just laying around, or you don't want your wife to get mad at you. Um, this is a phenomenal option. I mean, this is about as close as you're going to get to a handmade horn without paying a handmade price tag.